I think many people got to the point in the world where they thought that, from relatively developed nations, they weren't going to do something completely unexpected in the way that that sort of decision to have a good old-fashioned war on the edges of Europe. So the first important thing to understand is the reality that, yes, these things can happen, and obviously the more that they happen, they become self-fulfilling in creating instability. So the first thing is, it's become a really important question. The second thing, which is absolutely fascinating, is that things like connectivity have become weaponized. This is not about a sort of war of attrition where people sort of pummeling tanks from each side. It's about cognition. And so the skill set and the approach to dealing with threats completely different. And when you follow that all back, you end up with the understanding that there are now strategic assets. And those strategic assets, if you don't have them, you're incredibly exposed. So I was just talking about connectivity, the ability on the Ukrainian battlefield to have independent connectivity, which is happening through satellite technology, is actually what's driving a lot of what's going on. The next part of it is there are strategic technologies. Something like an ARM processor core is a strategic technology. AI is going to become more and more strategic. The idea that you're going to be fighting this out with humans, no, it will very soon be a lot of AI doing a lot of it, and having a little bit clever AI will be a massive strategic advantage. But also, how do you create these things? And the one thing we've seen in Ukraine is the world is no longer about 20-year-long development programs, because you don't know what the world's going to look like in 20 years. So what you've got to do now is be agile. And to be agile, you have to create an ecosystem of talent. And that's not just in the traditional way of defence contractors, it's the whole thing. And bring together that ecosystem that can deliver things like drones and new ways of doing things, So there's a whole series of fascinating things. I could spend a couple of hours with you taking you through to come out of Ukraine. And the Ukrainians have been amazing. They've really worked out that, if you do it the old-fashioned way, we're going to have a problem. So we're going to do it a different way. And they've harnessed the incredible power of modern consumer technology. And it's something that, as we've seen, the Russians have not been able to react to in the way they thought they would.